My name is Mehmet Alpdogan. I'm French with a Kurdish background, born in Germany. I currently live in Sydney, Australia, and I moved here about almost 7 years ago. Growing up, I played quite a few instruments, playing the guitar, the saz, the drums, a little bit of the piano, which results into a very interesting and eclectic sort of taste for music. Electronic music first started in my life when my friend Adam Scott introduced me to it through a gig. Mike Huckabee was playing here in Sydney, rest in peace. And that was the first slap I got on the dance floor from electronic music. Those crazy Chicago house vocals and an incredible bass lines that really got to me. And it was a feeling that I hadn't felt before, coming from Kurdish, more traditional music. Hearing that for the first time and feeling all those vibrations on the dance floor was just something I hadn't felt before. That was my first slap. I'm strongly influenced by Middle Eastern sounds. So, like for example, acid Arab is one of the examples of what really gets to me in terms of like a middle ground in between electronic music I love and those sounds I grew up with at home, like my mom playing on her cassette player when I was growing up. And so now this is why I'm sort of a very eclectic record collector with a very, very different taste, I guess, in sound, and I like very different stuff and putting together very, very different stuff that you sometimes wouldn't think of. I don't have one sound. Like I go from disco to techno. Like I always try to say, it's very crazy, and I go a bit everywhere, like without sort of trying to get there slowly and transitioning from one genre to another. Sometimes I go from a disco tree into a hard-hitting techno or acid house track. So there's a lot of everything, but if I try to put it into words, I'd say it's strongly house and techno orientated. Lots of breaks, lots of electro, acid, synth pop, a lot of it too. Lots of Italo house, progressive trance sometimes when I'm playing in a room filled with quite a lot of energy. So I'd say there's a lot of things. There's lots of minimal house as well. But I like to play lots of deep, like Romanian style of rolling, minimal, in warm-ups and stuff. So there's a lot of everything, and I really never know. That's why it's so hard for me to pack a bag for a gig. The last thing I would want for people is to be there listening to a set and feel the same feeling throughout the set, whereas I try to create a whole journey and a bit of a emotional roller coaster, really, pretty much. So I want to make them feel sadness, anger, but happiness, joy, utopia, like that feeling of hope again through very trancey and like happy melodic tunes. And so I'd say it isn't just a one feeling, it's sort of going up and down throughout a set. So it's a journey, and people are like, wow, I've just gone to so many places, felt so many different things in the space of 3-4 hours, thanks to the music, and that was great. At the end of the day, it's all about the love of music and sharing that in a moment with people. And I really, strongly believe in sort of trying to create an experience for people through music and sound, but also for creating events, it's very important to sort of create a safe place for people to party on, because not everyone realizes the importance that dance floors can have in people's lives. Like some people may go through a lot of healing on the dance floor, which was a big thing for me. For example, a lot of my healing has happened on the dance floor through going through hypnotic sets where I'm just taken somewhere else and just sort of deal with my shit pretty much while there, because the music is so overpowering that it just takes you somewhere else, and this repetitive sort of just beats take you somewhere else, and you get into a state of trance and you really face all your stuff. I really strongly believe in that. And like, for example, I've recently told parties here in Sydney that organizations for who I used to play a fair bit that I didn't want to play for them again because they hadn't taken active steps towards creating a safe party environment for everyone. Obviously, I'm a big defender of consent and safety in the party sphere. And from now on, like one of my big values is really that, like if it's not safe for my community to come and be part of a dance floor, then I don't want them to be there because it's not safe for them, because there may be intoxication involved, because people may be vulnerable because of their healing journey they're going through, or their weakness due to their social anxiety, and sort of putting them in a place where they're facing such danger and like is not something I want to do for my community and the people I love, the people who come to listen to my music. As artists, we have a much bigger duty towards the community because at the end of the day, we only exist if we have people to share this with. Therefore, it's very important that we also really put them sort of as the priority, because this is a set is only a journey you create for people if you have people to share it with, if you have a dance floor responding to the energy, creating there in that room there and then. But once you don't have that anymore because it's not safe for them anymore to be there, or it's a hostile environment and people can't be very like free to be themselves, then there's no real magic to what we do. We're just people who play records after records, and that's it. Whereas it's all about sharing and creating a moment and a connection with the community, and that's why I thought it was very important for me to really take that step. And that's something that I'll be actively doing throughout my career because I really do care about that. And I think it should be on all of us to create a safe environment for all of us to party on.
What's the best advice a fellow DJ has ever given you?
It has to be my friend Rhythmic. He said, dude, just try not to have a drink this time. Just go smash a little of water and go play your set, don't have a drink. And that was perhaps one of the most important advice I've ever received. And since then, I've given up alcohol, for those who know me. And yeah, just how much more connected I was to my set, to the dance floor, and how I felt the entire journey of the set. And that was the first time I realized, yeah, wow, actually taking alcohol out really helps me enjoy more what I love doing. So I'm gonna try it again. And then the more I did it and the more I realized, yeah, wow, alcohol is just the worst thing you can do if you wanna enjoy DJing. And that's when I started reducing alcohol. So then when I was playing, I wasn't drinking. And then I started going out without drinking. And yeah, it's been a year now. I haven't had a drop of alcohol. Quitting alcohol, that's the best thing I've done for my DJ career, I would say, to this day. I try to be more conscious of my health and really work alongside my ADHD what's right for me to eat. So I try to have a good meal a couple of hours before the set, but also have a mate before the set. So those who know me know I don't drink alcohol. And yeah, just walk up to the gig with a mate. Whenever I'm nervous, I try to do some breath work. My friend Eren Kalendes here in Sydney, another Sydney-based Turkish DJ, run me through a couple of breath exercises that I like to do that sort of directly put me in a state of consciousness and I'm there straight away and I'm so into it. So if you see me in the corner just staring at a wall and doing weird breaths or whatever, I'm not having an emotional breakdown. I'm just doing breath work so that I can get in the zone and get rid of the anxiety and anxiousness. Yeah. If I start playing and I put on a few records and it goes fine, then I start relaxing. Most of the time, I'm anxious when I'm not feeling good because I'm not doing the right things, like eating well and sleeping well and all of that stuff. So I'm gonna say most of the time I try not to be anxious, and when I do, breathing exercises help to get back on track. Yeah. The most embarrassing moment in my career so far has to be last New Year's Eve here in Sydney. So a partnership party between Checkpoint Music and Art from Barcelona and The Avant-Garde, the best local party in my opinion. And so Jane Fitz was playing after me, and I had set up my recorder. So I have a Zone 96 at home, and that's what I use most of the time. But on the day, they had a Zone 92, and the location of a record output is different on a 96 and 92, but I didn't know that. So on the 96, it's top right, very easy access, but turns out on a 92, it's like bottom left, I think. And when Jane Fitz was playing, I went back to grab my recorder, and as a reflex, went for where it's located on a Zone 96, and I just, by mistake, unplugged the turntable that she had playing on the master, and the whole venue just went quiet. And she's just next to me, turns to me and like goes, "What did you just do, bro?" Like, and I just panicked. Like, I quickly plugged it back in, and I plugged it wrong. Instead of going right and left, I did right and right between phono and line input. And I was just dying, hiding at the back, like hyperventilating, having heart palpitations. But like, yeah, I gave her a massive hug after I apologized like crazy again. Jane, I'm sorry. But yeah, it was, yeah, I just wanted to, I just don't think it can get worse than that. Sorry again, Auntie Jane, sorry. I guess every day is a new discovery, because I'm only a subject of what I've been exposed to, and I didn't grow up around electronic music at all. So I'm only, I would say, recent digits in the last 6 to 7 years. I'm getting to discover new genres and new sounds every day, which is really exciting and which motivates me to dig more and more every day.